Hi, this is medicine.com and I'm Bize. Normally before I teach a class at a yoga studio, I like to say a few things at the beginning, either just reminders that are important to me or just sometimes there's just things I like to share about my own yoga practice. So because I don't want to say these same things at the beginning of every video that I make, I'm just going to say them in this video and then encourage people to, or you, to watch this video before you watch my other videos. So first and foremost, the most important thing to me in my own yoga practice when I go to another teacher, and the most important thing I'd like to express to you is for you to take timeouts. Whenever you need a second to regroup, like especially if you find yourself just going through the motions, like I'm saying the words and you're doing it, but you're just doing it. You're not really there. You're not really intentionally moving your body. Or sometimes you just get really worn out and you just keep going because you know you can, but there's times when you need to just kind of rest instead. Take child's pose whenever you need a second to just breathe or reground yourself. If child's pose is uncomfortable for you, you can lay on your back in savasana. Or one of my favorite things to do is just completely rebel against everything the teacher is saying and pause in a pose that feels good. Just because it feels good, and because I know that if later I remember, oh, that pose felt really good, I'm going to do it. It doesn't ever feel as good later as it did in that moment when I was really enjoying it. So I encourage you to take timeouts in whatever pose, whatever moment you think you need to take your own little timeout. And that kind of leads me into marching to the beat of your own drum. This is your practice. Always will be, always has been a personal practice. So in yoga, it's important that, sure, you know what the rules may be for some people, but march to the beat of your own drum. Breathe at your own pace. Don't breathe in because I say, breathe in, do this. Breathe in because you're at the end of your exhale and it's time to breathe in. And move with your breath, not with my cues. So if I say step to the top of your mat, wait for your exhale to step to the top of your mat. Wait for your breath to move. You don't have to just move because someone's telling you to move. Make it your practice. You're moving because you decide to move, because you intentionally believe at this moment when you breathe in, you should be moving. So that's when you move. You don't just move for the sake of someone telling you what to do. So you're just moving and flopping around your mat. I always like to say be you and be a little bit weird. So if there's any times that some of the poses aren't suiting you and you just have to play with it, explore, and look a little bit goofy and like you don't know what you're doing, do that. Be okay with doing that because that's yoga. Yoga isn't being really good at having someone tell you what to do and you being able to perform that act. Yoga is you yoking your mind and your body. And if you're able to, in any position, despite any kind of pressure you might be feeling from because everyone else in the class is doing something different or because the teacher said to do it one way, then you should especially push up against that and leave your comfort zone and find a pose that fits your body. That's what yoga is. That kind of goes along with exploring. So just constantly be a gumshoe of you. That's what I like to say. You're the detective of yourself, especially when little pains come up in your body or I like to say, you have a little hitch in your giddy up. Go to the root of that problem. Start to feel out why. Like this practice is for you. It's not for you to show off for the teacher or for you to just say, I did yoga today. It's for you to explore your body, start to understand why you feel certain things at certain times and being able to kind of predict what will happen and how your body will react to certain stimulation. Another thing I really like to mention is that there are no real rules of yoga. Everyone that speaks of the rules of yoga got the rules from somewhere and someone made them up. Someone made everything up. So because yoga is for you and you alone, it's good to know what other people consider the rules to be. But at the end of the day, you make your own decisions, especially when you might be feeling pain or discomfort in your body, you get to choose and make your own decision on whether doing what this person is telling you is right, is truly right for you, or if you have control of this situation and you can take care of yourself, explore, change it, modify it, be okay with not doing with what somebody else is telling you to do. One of the most important things for all my yoga classes is being prepared with props, because I am a huge advocate of props. I want you to prop yourself up at all times whenever you need it. And some days I don't remember to say, oh, you're going to need a blanket and a block and a strap for this practice. If you could always have a yoga strap, you will benefit from having it handy sometimes. Other times, you don't need it. But when you need it and you have it, it's so great to be able to nurture and support your body with a strap because you were ready for it when you didn't think you needed it. Yoga blocks. I like to have 2. You can get these anywhere. Look at a sporting goods store, even maybe a used sporting goods store. 1 is all right. 2 is better because oftentimes it's helpful to have 1 for each hand or 1 for each leg. So I highly recommend 2, but always have 1, and a blanket. And so the Mexican blankets are just traditionally what they use in yoga. And oftentimes I might talk about a specific way to fold it, and that's why the Mexican blanket would be more handy, but you can get away with improvising and figuring out how to make it work with your own blanket. A meditation pillow is handy, never necessary, but I find that it's a great way of sitting comfortably, especially when my knee is bothering me or if I have any hip things going on. So know that a meditation pillow can support you in a really great way when you need it. Clothing. Obviously, it's important to wear comfortable clothing. What I find to be more important is breathable clothing, especially if you know you're going to get hot and you're going to do a practice that's going to have your heart pumping. So sweating is great, but having on clothes that breathe is more comfortable. Sweatpants that are too baggy will probably get in the way, but try it. It's your practice, your body, your clothes. You could do whatever you want with it. My biggest recommendation when it comes to clothes is I like to always have a long sleeve shirt. Not necessarily because I'm cold. Oftentimes it'll be a warm day or even warm, and I know I'm going to get warm in the practice. It's mostly for the beginning or the very end of the practice. I like to be comfortable, especially in those 2 places, because they're supposed to be very passive, relaxing, therapeutic. So at the end, if you sweat it a bit and you have your AC on, it's better to put on a sweatshirt and rest in Savasana comfortably, not cold with goosebumps. So that's my recommendation, long sleeve shirt. Last thing, I think. Nope, second to last thing. I like to burn this stick before I teach a yoga class in a studio or even here at home. This is Palo Santo. It's a wood. You can get these at like rock shops, crystal stores, that kind of thing. I don't actually know how else to explain where to get it. You can probably Google it. When you light it, you just light the end for anywhere from like 30 seconds to a minute. And when you're lighting it, you just keep it in the flame. Don't like kind of move it to the base, like get the hottest part of that flame and you just stay there, even if it looks like it's lighting on fire. And then after about 30 seconds, I'm going to stop now, but after 30 seconds, it might stay lit for a second. All you really want to do is kind of shake it out and keep moving it. So the more you move it, the more you'll see that the little orange parts keep coming back to life. This is going to keep it going. It'll go out as soon as that stops. So kind of move around the room, moving your arm and moving that part of the stick and trying to keep the aroma flowing for just like 3 minutes. And then that way your space is full with a nice intentional aroma. And it also kind of gives you a stimuli that will remind you, like, this is my place to relax. This is my place to drop into right here, right now. This is my place to drop into me. So smells can often help you, if you use them regularly, bring you into the, the headspace that you want to be in your yoga practice. And then the last thing I want to say is that I am forever a student. Yeah, sure, I've been trained in yoga for hundreds of hours, whatever that means. But the truth is that 99.92% of what I teach, I learned being a student, not training to be a teacher. So it's really important that you know that we are so similar, even though it might seem like I might be more advanced or, I'm stronger or more flexible, which I find hard to believe. But like, if I am and I appear that way, it's because I've been a student for a while, and I continue to explore my body and continue to be a student and see what is possible for me in this body while I'm alive. That's it. That's my playful goal in life, to see what I'm capable of. And I just want you to remember that your greatest teacher is within you. It's not going to a class and finding a teacher that you really are inspired by. You are your greatest teacher. You always will be. You always have been, and it will serve you best to always remember that. So I hope you enjoy the videos. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to contact me. Any suggestions, I'm open. Thanks for joining me at medicine.com. Again, I'm Vize, and it's nice having you here.